How powerful is DCU Superman? Hey there folks. Like you and pretty much the entire internet, I checked out the new Superman movie. TLDR, solid 7 out of 10. It's a great foundation for this new cinematic universe. Nothing revolutionary, but definitely a confident step in the right direction. But here's the question we're all really here for. Just how powerful is Superman in the new DCU? Is he just a slightly stronger than average flying brick? Or are we dealing with a true top tier powerhouse? In today's video, we'll dig into the feats, the scaling, and the lore, both inside the movie and from connected material, and we'll stack him up against some heavy hitters from other fictional universes to see where he really lands. Fair warning, there will be spoilers ahead. You've been warned. Let's kick things off by talking about Superman's attack potency and durability. Now, I'll be real with you, Superman doesn't open up this movie by shattering planets or tossing stars around like back in the Silver Age. His feats are more subtle than that, but that doesn't mean they're weak. In fact, one of the most impressive scenes, in my opinion, is when a kryptonite-weakened Superman managed to use his super breath to push himself and others out of the pool of a black hole. Even if we lowball and say it's a stellar mass black hole, the smallest class of naturally occurring black holes, it would still require mountain levels of energy just to escape the gravity well. And that's Superman operating while poisoned. So it's a clear indicator that his base level is way higher than what we're explicitly shown. Now let's pull in some contextual scaling. It's mentioned both in universe and in supplemental materials that Superman is the strongest metahuman on Earth. So let's look at what other metahumans are doing in the movie. For instance, Metamorpho, the same guy who nearly killed Superman with kryptonite poisoning, created a miniature sun to heal him. He made a sun about the size of a basketball to recharge Superman's cells. Based on the rough energy scaling, a sun that size would sit somewhere in the small country levels of energy output. And again, Metamorpho is weaker than this weakened Superman, seeing as he needed Superman to break out of the containment field and save his kid. That puts full power Superman well above that level, likely in the country to large country tiers, especially considering how easily he dispatches raptors in the Pocket Universe when poisoned, compared to later on in the finale when he's fully healthy. Supporting this is material from the prequel novel, where Superman's super breath is compared to a full-blown typhoon. And that's just the breath. He's not even using his strongest attacks here. His punches, heat vision, and high-speed charges should logically be much stronger. Now, if you've been anywhere near the power scaling community, you've probably heard about the planetary scaling argument from the Blue Beetle movie. Here's a quick version for those not in the know. While en route to Earth, the Scarab fought a Green Lantern, and the resulting blast sent the Scarab through an entire planet. Given that Superman is explicitly more powerful than most Green Lanterns, and Guy Gardner himself is called a metahuman in this universe, the logic is that Superman scales above this planetary tier feat. But here's where I take a bit of detour from the mainstream scalers. I'm not fully sold on that just yet. Let me explain. Firstly, James Gunn has explicitly said that he doesn't want a Superman that can blow up planets, which could just be PR talk, but context matters. Yes, Zack Snyder made similar statements about restraint, and then gave us Superman performing multi-continental feats in Man of Steel. So you might think it's just history repeating itself. But here's the difference. The Blue Beetle planetary feat isn't from this movie, and James Gunn didn't write or direct that one. Even the canon status of that film is murky. The director says it's canon, but Gunn himself has only made vague statements. Until it's confirmed, either through a direct crossover or future storylines, I'm hesitant to treat it as hard evidence. And finally, let's not forget, Ultraman, who's basically Superman's equal, dies to the black hole. If these characters were truly planetary, they should have had the ability to counteract the gravitational pull of the black hole. So for now, I'm placing Superman comfortably in the large country tier, with room to go higher if future feats justify it. Now let's shift gears and talk about speed, both travel and reaction. Throughout the movie, Superman zips from Metropolis to the Fortress of Solitude in the Arctic and back within minutes. If we go off common fan geography, that's New York to northern Canada, easily thousands of kilometers. That alone puts his travel speed at massively hypersonic at the very minimum. Then there's the black hole escape again. Using just his super breath, Superman propels himself and a group of people out of the singularity in seconds. Depending on how you interpret the time frame, this could push him into the relativistic territory. And don't forget his reaction speeds. During the climax, Superman reacts to Ultraman's heat vision blasts. In a number of materials, these are identified as lasers, meaning light speed reactions. Also, before it gets brought up, we'll need more evidence for the MFTL scaling based on Supergirl going to planets with red suns to get drunk. On a planet with a red sun, she'll lose her powers, so how does she get off the planet to get home? There has to be an intermediary she uses, and until we see the entire trip, I'm hesitant to use the feat. Alright, now let's cover Hack's abilities and resistances, the spicy stuff. Probably the most underrated feat in the film is Superman's resistance to antimatter. In the Pocket Universe, there's an anti-proton river, which Mr. Terrific explicitly says that if he or Lois touched it, they'd be torn apart atom by atom. Superman? He tanks a full body immersion in the river while fighting off a swarm of raptors. That's high level resistance, not just to brute strength, but molecular level durability. And yeah, he's still got the classics like X-ray vision for scanning environments, shown when he looked inside the kaiju to see Mr. Terrific's explosives, super hearing, which gets showcased quite hilariously in the scene where Lex gaslights him about crypto, and of course, the super breath. Maybe overused, maybe not, it depends on how you feel about Superman as a human leaf blower. So let's put it all together. Right now, Superman in the DCU is sitting at large country levels of AP and durability, relativistic travel and reaction speeds, with resistance to exotic materials like antimatter. So how does he compare to other contemporary characters in fiction? Well, let's break it down by tiers. Against city-level characters like Homelander or Uvagin, Superman straight up washes them, no contest. Against your country to continental level characters, think All Might or Darkshine from OPM, that's a closer match. Superman can win some of these matchups thanks to his versatile array of abilities, but it could go either way. Now once we get to the planetary or star level characters like MCU Sentry, or the solar system to galaxy tiers, guys like Saitama, it's over. Superman gets washed. And don't even bring up the higher dimensional beings like Alien X. We're talking existence erasing hacks at that level, not a fair fight. Anyways, those are my thoughts on DCU Superman so far. Future movies or spin-off shows could absolutely change his ceiling. Maybe Lanterns or the upcoming Supergirl film will bring in feats that push him into the planetary tier or beyond. But for now, he's a solid mid-tier powerhouse with a lot of potential. Disagree? Have your own interpretation? Hit me up in the comments. I'll try to respond to every reasonable take. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.